My name's Sam. I'm a brand designer on the Nerf team, and today we're going to talk about the Boba Fett Nerf Star Wars Limited item, which is open for pre-order until the end of the month on Amazon, Hasbro Pulse, and other retailers. So starting with the packaging design, what you guys are going to get in the mail if you pre-order this item is, starting with this, the outer sleeve. Immediately it shows you it's Boba Fett. It's really simple. It doesn't have to, show the whole character, but it's just immediately identifiable as that really iconic character. The T-visor, the colors, it's just, unmistakably that character. And that was the goal. Simple, but really clear. And then on the back of that sleeve, you're going to have some Mandalorian text, which some of you may be able to read at this point. But for those of you who don't, it's Boba Fett, of course, the character's name. When you remove this sleeve, it pulls off upwards and off. You will have the platform holding the blaster, Boba Fett's EE-3 blaster that he has in the original films and also in the Book of Boba Fett. And we went for a color palette change where the outside of the sleeve is green, matching the character's armor. We went for a hotter, kind of dustier orange palette for the platform box because the Book of Boba Fett show and some of the other moments that we know from Boba Fett's story take place on Tatooine. And so we wanted to capture the heat of that planet. We put together this exciting composition that captures all these different moments from Boba Fett's story that we've seen over the years. The T-visor, the ship, his armor in episode 5, his new armor in the Book of Boba Fett show, and then these other moments where he is without his armor in The Mandalorian and in some of the scenes in the Book of Boba Fett show as well. We've got the twin suns from Tatooine acting as a kind of halo image, really celebrating this cool action shot in the middle. And then over on the side, we'll let you guys do the translation if you're into that, but that you might recognize the text on the side of the composition as the chain code that Boba Fett shows to Din Djarin the Mandalorian to prove his Mandalorian heritage. And that was really important for us tying this whole composition together. It's all about the story of Boba Fett and the way that he kind of interacts with the Star Wars universe.
Hi everyone, I'm Mike. I'm a senior designer on the Nerf team. I help with a lot of the concept work, the overall look and aesthetic of Nerf blasters, help evaluate and define the ergonomics, and kind of how the mech works and that kind of thing. So it's a lot of fun working on Star Wars stuff. I was a huge Star Wars fan as a kid, and I still am. And I think the most exciting part about working on Star Wars stuff is actually getting to see all the reference. So when I heard we were doing a Boba Fett blaster, I of course got really excited. I could see all the Boba Fett reference images. And so I get access to see all the three-quarter turns of like the characters, the weapons, the vehicles for all the other Star Wars properties and things that I'd be working on. And so that's super exciting. And to make the EE-3 come to life was really a real treat. And so to kind of started off, we start with ergonomic models. Before this, we'd have like a foam core laser cut that we kind of cut out to scale to give kind of the rough proportions of the blaster. And with Star Wars things, it's really important to get that one-to-one reference to make sure it's almost as 100% accurate as we could possibly get it. And so this is kind of the next step. This will be like a pink foam ergonomic evaluation model to kind of see how this enclosed grip feels, whether this bracket's kind of too wide or too thin, that kind of thing. Also thinking about the rigidity of the stock to the handle and that kind of stuff. And so we have a couple different versions that we'd have done. And this is all CNC'd out based off kind of early CAD models. And like for this example, we had a couple different plates for the brackets to kind of check different bracket thicknesses. And so that's kind of just a fun early step, and also kind of to see how long the stock is, if it's too long, if it's too short, that kind of thing. And so this is kind of just half the blaster, as you can see. And then from here, we go to kind of, we'll have like a breadboard model and then a kind of a mech layout check model. And so this kind of gray model that we have here is basically a functioning model. It has early electronics in it with some kind of generic sounds to kind of test the fit and feel, whether things are kind of working, like when you pull the trigger, if it makes a sound, that kind of stuff. Things like the scope, like when you turn this dial, is it actually turn and activate the LED that's within? I'm align this with the camera here. And just other kind of stuff about just how the mech overall sits and lays out in this blaster. And so keeping this thing 1-to-1, and also it being Boba Fett's blaster, we wanted to shoot a couple of rounds. We could have kept it easy and kind of just done a single shot front load, kind of called it a day. That's not fun. You want to shoot a couple of shots. You're a bounty hunter. And so we went with kind of a drum, like a removable cylinder for this thing. It's going to come with 3 of them. They're 4 darts each, so you have a total of 12 shots. And with kind of cylinder-fired Nerf blasters, you shoot out of the top of the cylinder. You have a piston pound in the back here. And with Boba Fett's blaster, especially keeping this thing to scale, we wanted to make sure that this cylinder still fired out of the center line of the blaster, out of the barrel itself. So we wanted this barrel to actually be a round cylinder instead of it being more of like an oval and kind of shooting from the top, because that's kind of lame. So going into the blaster itself, we kind of have like a little release door here. This whole side of the blaster barrel opens up. These are some more generic sounds. And then voila, we have the internal mech, a little cradle that kind of displays the cylinder for you. You just kind of put in a new one, close it up, and you're ready to go. And then after that, this detail is actually pulled one from one for reference. Like, why don't we just use this for priming? So we kind of have like a cool little finger well. You kind of put your finger in here, prime the blaster back, the spring returns into the blaster, and then you can shoot. You do that 4 times and then swap out a new cylinder. This thing was a lot of fun. Like, again, having access to all our reference images is just super cool. Like, little details like this, like these 2 details, they cant inwards towards the center line of the barrel. So we were able to actually get that as well, like kind of cool slide operations in the mold. And just to make sure that's, as accurate as possible to Boba Fett's blaster. Just a lot of cool stuff. It's a good scale. Like, look at this thing. It's a good sized blaster. I love this. All right, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed kind of our breakdown and walkthrough of some EE-3 blaster development. Make sure you order this thing on Hasbro Pulse and Amazon by March 31st. That'll be the end of the pre-order date. And hope to see you guys again soon.